Hi guys, Kristen Merwin back with you at the St. Paul Ice Fishing Show. And we have another question from Carolyn Smith. And she wants to know, what are the alternatives to live bait? Many times she's fishing by herself and a scoop of minnows is just too excessive, or she doesn't have access to live bait. So what are the alternatives? This is Scott Brauer from the ice team of Clam, and he will be answering that question for us.
What was her name? I'm sorry.
Caroline.
Hi Caroline, my name is Scott Brauer. I'm an ice team pro, and I'm going to talk to you today about some options for you specifically, but everybody really. And I want you to think about it more globally than just what are my options to bait. In order to know what options are really true, you need to, in my opinion, think more like a fish. And even beyond that, I've got bugs, and you should have bugs too. Here's why. In our water table right now, there's a bloodworm hatch going on, and that's where I'm going to start with. So you want to emulate that bloodworm hatch the best you possibly can. It doesn't matter what bait. Every rubber bait, every plastic bait is made to be changed. This is normally our Minnow XL, and it's just a large minnow bait. But here's what I'm going to do with it today. I'm going to take this part off, and I'm going to put that in my pocket. I'm not throwing it on the ice. That's right. Why? It's littering. Then I'm going to take it in and put it on a bomb spoon. Here's what happens with bloodworms. Bloodworms live in the mud, but they can't breathe in the mud. So they stick their little heads up to clear their ventricles about every 3 to 5 minutes. Many good fishermen will pound the bottom and then lift up a little bit, and they honestly don't even know why they do that other than it works. So here's an example of what a cluster of bloodworms would look like on our bomb spoon. So I'll pound that right into the bottom, muck it up so that you make that little sand pool, and then you've got all those little tails sticking up. Now this was originally designed to be a minnow bait, and it works real well as a minnow imitation. But think about it a little bit different. How do I make it look a little bit buggy? Remember I said I got bugs, you should have them too? Let me go on to something else. The next thing that's going to happen is a hatch of year of young. What is that? Bluegill, sunfish, crappies had their last set of babies around August. By now they're 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. And this is our Mackie, and the Mackie is meant to be a swim bait. If you flatten it out like that, it's going to swim around just like a little minnow bait. But there's a different profile during that period of time in which little fish are being fed on by bigger fish, and crappies will eat crappies and bluegills will eat bluegills. And all I do is I take that same lure that used to be a swim bait, and I now hook it so that it's sideways. And watch this. I take this little one, and if my fat little sausage fingers will do its magic, I pierce one of those wings and let it stick straight up in the air so that it looks like the top fin. And just changing that profile makes the bait act and look completely different. It's not always the big things that you do, it's sometimes the little things. What's the difference with live bait? Just like at this trade show, each booth is trying to sell you something. So you're seeing a jig table after a jig table after a jig table. By the time you get to the 4th jig table, you're not even paying attention anymore. So if the fish is seeing a minnow after a minnow after a minnow, when they get to you and you're doing something like this, it's going to put more fish on the ice for you. So it's not always what is it that I can do to switch up from live bait. It's what can I do differently than what everybody else is doing and put more fish on the ice for me. So just pay attention to those small little details, make them work for you with a little bit of creativity. And quite honestly, women are a lot more creative than men are, and you guys will have a lot more luck out on the ice. Good luck this year and stay safe.